Trying to close a sale without asking real questions is a little bit like a marriage proposal after a first date at Nando's. You skipped all the emotional depth and you wonder why they ghosted you. If you want them chasing you, you need to stop pitching and get them to open up emotionally. Let's walk through how. My name's Luke. I've been in the sales game for over 20 years. And when things really changed for me is when I started giving more of a shit about my prospect and less of a shit about closing the deal. It sounds odd, but the less time you spend closing, the more time you give them to close themselves. Check out the links below. I have a ton of free sales assets to get you hearing more yeses on your sales calls. And in this video, I'm going to take you through a very simple 6-part discovery flow to get your prospects to close themselves. Before we start, warning, everything I'm about to tell you is backed by data and science. But you're in luck. I'm going to keep things really simple. No big words, no fluffy marketing language, just simple, actionable insights to help you get more yeses on your sales calls. I'm not here to close you. I'm here to help you. But this is where real-world behavioral science meets revenue. Okay, let's put a little bit of context around this. Why do prospects not open up? Well, quite simply, it's because you keep things too high level. You get told, yeah, we're a bit stressed. Yeah, we're looking around for solutions. And then you pitch. No gap, no urgency, and that means no sale. Now, according to the neuroscience geeks over in Harvard, 95% of our buying decisions are emotional. But you're never going to get to that emotion if your questions are too weak. Okay, so that's the concept. That's what we're driving for here. Strong questions that unlock an emotional response. You don't need a 50-question script to start digging deep. You just need a few powerful questions that could do 3 things. Reignite emotional memory, trigger self-reflection, and of course, lead prospects to close themselves. In any sales call, we want to build the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. And guess what? We're the ones that are going to help them get there. Okay, let's get some clarity around what this 6-part emotional discovery flow really is. Well, we said before, we've got to build that pain gap, the pain between where they are now and where they want to be. We also want to look at future pacing. What's the future going to look like when they get where they want to go? And we can also highlight the consequences of doing nothing. Anybody in traditional sales will tell you the status quo is the biggest deal killer. So we really want to, when we're building that gap, focus on the status quo. What's going to happen if you do nothing, Mr. Client? Okay, so getting into the actual 6-part discovery flow. Part number 1, repeating back the emotion. Now I'm talking keep it super simple. 1-word responses. If the customer is frustrated about a certain situation, I want you to sit there, pause, and say the word frustrated. If the customer is stressed about something, stressed? A recent survey from gong.io says that a prospect has 65% more chances of closing when you repeat their own language back to themselves. Again, ton of science behind this. You don't need to know about that. Just understand that even if the client monologues for 2 or 3 minutes about all the problems in their lives, pick one emotional word they've said, anger, frustration, worry, stress, whatever it is, and just repeat that word back to them. Part 2 of the discovery flow. Just simply ask how long this has been going on. Could be 6 months, could be a year. It doesn't really matter. Again, there's a ton of psychology behind getting a prospect to articulate how long it's going to be going on. It's going to feel like a long time to them. Part 3, this is a really good one. Ask about the impact. And again, keep it really simple. Use the word impact. So, Mr. Client, how has that impacted you? What impact has that had? What impact has that had on you and your family? How has that impacted the business? Again, this is science, but it's not rocket science. And I need the pace of this to be very, very slow now. A report from Sales Science stated that slower paced questions get a 2x in the type of emotional response from your buyer. And pacing also affects your tone. And we all know that tonality is crucial on sales calls. And again, slowing the pace gives them time to pause and think about everything that's going wrong right now for them. Part 4, ask for specific examples of things that have happened. And again, keep this really simple. When the prospect has told you everything that we've just gone through in the first 3 steps, Literally ask the question, can you give me some specific examples of when that's happened? You see, what we're trying to also do is unlock different parts of the brain into this buying decision. We've got the emotional that we've just gone through in parts 1 to 3. Now we're tying it into an actual event that's happened, which is more the logical part of the brain. And if you can drill down into this real world example, that is your pitch. This is the point when they start pitching themselves. Who do you think can deliver a more powerful pitch? You or your prospect to themselves? Part 5. Ask them how it's affecting them personally. Back into the emotional side of the brain now. Emotions close deals. Even high-powered CEOs are human beings with emotions. I don't care who you're trying to close. This is going to work in every single sales scenario you ever come across. Why? Because stress is real. And most people don't clock off at 5 o'clock, go home and never think about their work problems or their business problems or any problem until 9 a.m. the next morning. That just doesn't happen in the real world anymore, especially in this entrepreneurial space that we find ourselves in. Part 6. This is the heavy hitter. This is only going to work if you've really nailed the first 5 parts of the flow. What's that doing to you? Again, those exact words. Don't mess with this. What's that doing to you? Speed and tonality, again, super important at this phase. If you can get all the previous 5 steps right, this one is going to knock it out of the park with your prospect. Okay, so like I said, everything we just gone through is backed by science, it's backed by data. It works in the real world. I want you to feel confident delivering these 6 steps. I've sprinkled in a little bit of science and a little bit of data, but trust me, there is a ton more information behind the scenes that proves that this emotional discovery flow is credible. It works. And a little scan on YouTube will show that every other salesperson is telling you the same thing. I'm just trying to break it down as simply as I can for you guys. Right. Now, let's get to work, guys. So the call to action here is for you to start thinking about your own emotional discovery flow. I need you to put on a pencil, think about the last few sales conversations you've had, and start writing down those emotional words that you've heard. And you need to start practicing those with empathetic tones in your voice, sounding concerned. Start getting these reps in now off the call. Once you have maybe your top 3 emotional words that your prospects are saying to you, and you practice them saying out loud a few times, then plug it into that 6-part flow. Start asking for the duration. Start asking for the impact. Practice, practice, practice. Record yourself. Role play with your family. Pitch to the dog. I don't care how you do it, but start getting the reps in now. And from now on, every sales call you're going to go on, if you're not doing it already, you're going to record it, you're going to watch it back, and you're going to be honest with yourself about the feedback of how you can improve to the next one. The bottom line is that these sales questions don't feel like selling. They feel like helping because we are helping our prospects get from A to B. Guys, we're done. Thank you so much for getting this far. Check out the links below, a ton of free stuff. When you drop your email, check your inbox for the secret password, which will unlock more free sales assets. Drop your feedback below. This is the first of a longer form style I'm testing out, and I'll see you in the next one.